free market. We're always putting money in our pocket and putting junk in your driveway. This deal's so hot it'll make you want to twist and shout. This baby here's an international scout. She was produced in 1967. That's the year she descended from heaven. This sweet mama right here is this week's P&B special. What's P&B? Poor man's Bronco. Scouts were made before Broncos, and I think they look better. They're more durable because they're made by the 13-letter poop spreader. They're short and boxy, like old television. And this one's got rat turds in her for real smelly vision. Now this interior is quite simple. She's made up of steel, more steel, and the occasional seat. Everybody needs an auxiliary gas tank. This one vents out the missing back glass so it don't even stink. If your nickname was Peter Puller, you'll love this ring because there's all kinds of levers for Peter Puller to pull. Peter Puller pulled a lever. Peter Puller was quite clever. Peter Puller pulled her to low gear. Let's see what we got under here. Yeah. Underneath the hood, we got the Can Do No More Slant 4. We got the Leaning Tower of 4-cylinder. We got the Not So Great half a V8. That 4-cylinder's leaning harder than a Geo Metro with a 400-pounder driving. She may be small, not powerful at all, but she likes a good brawl and she'll make this baby crawl. Cheaper and better looking than a Bronco? Yeah, baby! A mighty fine and capable 4x4. Yes, sir! Plus she's a cool color. Hot damn! Ooh, robin egg blue sure looks cool. With that white roof and white wheels, it'll make you want to drool. And I know she's a little musty and she's certainly a little crusty. You may even say a little rusty, but she's a gooder. Trust me. So if you like what you see and it got that old heart a-thumping, go to that ATM and get that money a-pumping, and she could be yours today. And don't forget, folks, if someone got a deal and it's a good one, chances are they dealt with pudding. Right here at old Puddins Parket and Market. Welcome back to puddins.fab.shop. No, she's not really for sale, guys. I just realized as we go to tear into this thing, it's our last chance to be able to do a parket and market with it looking like that. So I just had to sell it, okay? I didn't even point out the high deluxe wagon wheels she has to offer. So we were just having a little fun there. No, if you've seen the last video, we did a wheel it run on this thing. We got it running and driving, kind of, sort of. She didn't have brakes. It wasn't running quite the happiest, but it was enough that we kind of took it around the place here. My wife got to ride in it, and she's liking the thing, guys. She brought my oldest daughter and her boyfriend from all the way over there to here just to be able to check it out. So she likes it. First old car she's ever really acted interested in. And at the end of that video, you seen we had a special guest make a cameo, Ian Johnson, who was on Extreme 4x4 for years on television. I watched him as a kid. Me and him had ended up having a phone call conversation, and he gave me a great idea for a chassis upgrade on this, because guys, there's some people already, oh, you got to leave it stock. It can do 52 miles per hour. It has no power brakes, no power steering, probably drum brakes on the front, I'm assuming. I didn't even look. And I want my wife, who's a very small lady, to safely drive this thing, and she don't want drum brakes and no power steering and blah blah blah, so it has to be upgraded. Well, stock's better. Okay, it's great if it's 1967 and the top speed somewhere on your little town's 40 miles per hour and this thing's capable of doing it. But does she want to drive this 50 miles per hour to the city? No, she don't. So we're gonna upgrade it. And besides that, I might like rusty and crusty, but my wife does not. Okay, my wife likes nice painted things. So this will be the first vehicle I end up having painted, and it needs some work, and it needs to look good in paint. So I'm not talking about like me and Slick, where we've maybe body worked something in a few days and shoot it with paint. You get what you get, you don't throw a fit. I'm talking about I want this thing to be nice. It's going to end up having to go to a paint and body shop more than likely, because it needs way more than 1 week's worth of work. Now, that don't mean we won't do some metal work. We're going to get everything roughed in. But anyways, y'all know I'm not a paint and body guy. Step one to me, because what we really need from this is our body. And what I want to get going is a plan of what do we have. We can look around the outside, but until we really tear this thing down and see where do we have rot, where do we need repairs, what's really going on with it, you know, we really don't know. We're sitting blind. If you don't watch my second channel, well, you don't know that I've already bought another one that has better body but worse floor. It's got the diamond plate special floors in it. I'd rather fix the outside body than diamond plate floors. Anyhow, I want to get tore into this thing, hopefully get the body on some type of cart. Hopefully we can tear some rusty parts out that we find. Maybe we can do some repairs. We'll see how far we get. I would like to get this thing ready to go to a sandblaster where it could be blasted and put in epoxy primer. So then as we go to build back, we've got a cleaner start. And I'm currently waiting on a few more things to come in for the Lodestar. So it's perfect time to rip this one apart. Yeah, step one, remove the hood. She's quick release feature. Should we take the top off? I ain't ever seen her with her top off. Looks like we got some 1/2-inch bolts holding us on around there. Maybe some up there. Oh, these are gonna come off so easy. No chance they strip at all. Any of these parts we can shed out here that we don't need in there, just saves us from having to carry them out here. Better get your looby dooby. Available at thesweetpatina.com. Just use that old promo code on the screen. Hey, Chihuahua. I said we were looking for rust. With an International Scout, boy, you never have to look far. Not far at all. I'm looking for parts for one of these, so if you know of a good full top, I'm interested. We're doing good work so far, folks. Well, I don't know what in the devil they ever fit up in here to grab that nut. Come on, baby. You want to get topless or not? Or not. Well, there ain't nothing quick or easy about this. You gotta be joshing me. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Luckily there's a washer on there so we can grind that off and not really get our rusted out top too bad. She's free. If we're lucky, the rest of them will be that easy. Battery upgrade. My wrist and nuts get stuck in my sockets. Yeah. Nice little hot rod tank for a future project. Oh, there's that lug wrench I've been looking for. That's the demon bolt right there. Ugh, you know what sucks? If I was a betting man, I'd bet those were the easy ones. Now these ones up here, please, please, please be good to me. Woohoo! One, please don't be rusted out. Two, please be good to me. Hey, I said be good to me. What in the... Oh, 22. Little 22 shell. a lead sinker. Come on, baby. Maybe today's my lucky day. You ready to go to the casino? I think we could win some money, pal. Camera shot today, huh? Come on! Yeah! Whew, that corner was a little crunchy. Had me scared. Y'all weren't even watching, were you? Hey, works over there. Pay attention. All right. She just heavy. She's stuck. Am I missing hardware? What's the deal? Let me use the patented rollback technique. Yeah! Put the heck over. Yep. Yeah! Oh yeah. Roll back a little more. Just had to quit being a sissy. Yeah! Peel that old rubber like a banana. Woo! Lots of strength in this, as you can see. Ha-ha! I do believe all them squats I've been doing's paying off. Ah! Oh, she's ready to come off. Good thing Nate Dogg's here packing merchandise orders. We appreciate all the support at the puddins.fab.shop. Let me go see if I can get his help. I think old Nate Dogg's taking care of his duty, and I don't mean his professional duties. So as I wait for him, these fenders are gonna have to come off. There's about 1,001 bolts around here. All but one's pretty good. After pulling those fenders off that other one at the scrapyard out at D&H, I can tell you pulling these fenders are not fun. International put bolts down there, then up through the fender facing forward, all through here, along the bottom, up inside the door. They did not want these fenders falling off. On the plus side, they go into like a little welded nut, so we don't got to put nothing on the back side. But a lot of this crap's so rusty, those nuts end up breaking. Maybe we'll get lucky. Ooh, this side looks a little rustier. That one's broke. Round of applause for Nate Dogg. I would have stuck by myself. Dang! Look at the old girl with her top off. And it will be for my wife, but she don't. My wife's plural. I only have one. My wife. She likes the white top, the white wheels. I showed her like 4 different wheels to choose from. She said they look the same. Pick whichever ones you like. I showed her one on 33s, one on 35s, one on nothings. She goes, I like them all. Whichever one you think. She just wants to be the exterior and interior decorator. Since we got Nate Dogg, let's use them. We got a case of the dead batteries. They're testing the old tornado sirens. Upgrade bucket seat and adapter kit comes out no problem. Hey, there's a find. We'll hold on to that. That's good stuff right there. Keep our straps, but not our scraps. Trash, trash, trash. Boop. Tear down, tear down, Everyone loves a tear down. Trash, trash, trash. Blower engaged. Found rust. I was like, maybe we'll just patch that back there, but this is pretty pitted. And look, we got more right there. Also, that's pretty pitted. But look, that right there is rusted too, in a terrible spot. My favorite. Now I will say, where the Scout makes up for intimidation factor on stuff not being available, everything's so small and simple that it's also not overly intimidating. Like this interior we're about to strip out in, I don't know, 5 minutes max. Dang, I see you, red Loctite. Now for some of this stuff I got a keep pile, and for some of this stuff, trash. Those aren't original. Those come out of a Bronco. That's what I think about that. Just playing, guys. I like Fords. This last year, there's 2 vehicles I was supposed to drag home that I've been hiding from you guys. One was this Scout. The other is a Ford. I've always got tricks up these sleeves. Now there's the other half that built. Whoa, Bessie. Can't do an old rusty car tear down without using your locking pliers at least once. That bolt respectfully declined my invitation to come apart. I only nicely asked twice. On the 3rd time I tell. She's free. That's a keeper. Sometimes you gotta put that thing down, flip it and reverse it. Oh, my leg's stuck. Help! Help! Yeah! So I could get to those 2, and there. Oh, no. I did not just do what I thought I did. I just tore up the track. Dummy. We found more rust, didn't we? I just picked up on that, used my heat man strength. I thought I was pivoting right there where it clamped, was my thought. And what I was really doing was ripping these tracks through that stud. Now we could drill those out, hammer them flat, weld it up. It could be fixed. Shame on me for breaking it in the first place. Someone said this was an old drive-in movie theater speaker. I don't know if that's true or not. Were y'all looking for the transmission in the transfer case? Found it. This driver's side could use a suck job deluxe. Get the old super sucker. This ain't my first international, and this also ain't my first time seeing that. Their seat pans were always pretty dang cool in my opinion, but a lot of them I had, in fact all of them. No, the one in the Lodestar is good, but the rest were not. That cleans out pretty quick. How's that clip on, huh? I see little retaining clips, but you franked it. Now, well, it's glued on. So, what do, you know? Yeah, good thing I vacuumed that out before I continue to make a bigger mess here. That was smart. Ah. That's a cute little mirror. Now, y'all know I'm a resto mod type of guy. So she's getting restored in the sense of fresh paint and body, interior, blah, blah, blah. But like I said, we're gonna modify the rest of the drivetrain. And this thing appears to have pretty decent wiring, but with what we're gonna do, being a full build, I'll fully rewire this entire truck, guys. And I tell you that because I'm taking stuff apart nice, just like that dash that I broke in half. But when we make it to this wiring, I'm not gonna try to salvage it or fight it. We're gonna butcher it. Woo, that stuff smells good. The speedo cable was testing my patience. We got some chewed up wiring. Oh, someone's been in here. All them crimp-ons, right? Or they come from the factory like that. I don't know. So like this, we'll end up, oh yeah, that's been swapped out, I remember. We'll end up putting aftermarket gauges in this thing. And having a simple panel like this, we can reuse this one, we can weld it up. We can modify a new one. I mean, it's real simple. We could cut that out, 1/8" plate, be the perfect thickness. But stuff like that, we're gonna hold on to. If you want to get your knobs off, you better have your 5/64 Allen wrench, little set screws on these. Exact same style that's in the Lodestar and my C900. Of course, the keeper there just threads on, so we'll pull it. And I'm keeping all this stuff, guys. I'm not just getting rid of it. Who knows what we may end up needing, even after upgrading. I will tell you, this thing's gonna have a straight axle. It's still gonna be 4-wheel drive. I'm not doing a monster lift, monster tires. It's gonna be a very drivable, that's the goal. I want my wife to drive it. But we will keep stuff, we need stuff that functions, obviously. Windshield wiper, stuff like that. No, I think she's gonna purposely drive this thing in the rain. No, probably not. But that's why we wanna hold on to everything until we get everything functioning again, which is gonna be a good bit from now. Now, speaking of them wipers, come to find out, they are vacuum operated. Look at that. Maybe there's an upgrade kit for this. Maybe we'll have to figure it out ourselves. Our Chevrolet radio, we're gonna get her out of here too. This thing had 2 wiper switches. So maybe there's a vacuum pump motor, whatever you want to call it, motor for each one. Yep, I believe so. Feels like there's a port on there for a hose. Maybe those work good. Ain't no way. I don't know. We get a good vacuum producing motor in this sucker and they may wait. There's gotta be at least one of these that fights us. Hold on. That's how you do that. Let's try and get those 2 screws off there. They were loose and rusty. Luckily, I was able to do that without tearing up none of that. That hooks up to this cable right here. And this cable means nothing to me because we're gonna end up putting vintage air in this thing. And we could easily cut it in there, but I'm trying to keep this stuff together for someone who maybe needs this cable because people don't make the stuff anymore, even though she may not be in the best shape. Start pulling this dash. There she is. There's our good quality wiring, huh? You always gotta have at least one twist nut or she's not a real old classic. I don't write the rules, guys, I just follow them. Return spring for your clutch, hooks to your dash. Nice little feature. Dash is ready to come off, but we got a big old hunkin' school bus steering wheel right in the way. Dang, this old 7-foot long column, nothing supports it out here. It's just bolted at this joint. That joint that's coming apart, apparently. All my impacts are crapping out. I look like a damn circus right now, don't I? Y'all give me a second, I'll damn toot my horn. I can tell that wants to come off there about as much as that steering wheel wants to come off that column. You cannot break my wheel, Scout. One extremely short column available. Damn old bazooka tube, baby. First steering column like this out of any of my old vehicles that I ain't just chopped it because. Be free, Dash. Be free. Hi-yo. I said be free. That includes the slinky here. Inspection time. Well, what do we have hid up behind our dash? Anything scary? Looking up in here. Oh, this looks pretty good. Little mice turds. Piece of wood. Someone was using something for something. Yeah, there it is. Got some right up in that top right corner. Could be worse. Trying to pull our windshield vacuum wipers, and I can't get the wiper off, and I can't see how to get it off. But if the windshield was out of here, I could see. And luckily, this old gasket's as hard as a rock, and just go around here and chip it away. Ta-da! Now, I realized I was holding my tongue wrong. Once I held my tongue right, they came right off. We didn't need that drill bit anyhow. There we go. Grab that roll pin out, and then that'll come off. Now she's ready to come free. Diaphragm's still good in there. Just for fun, let's hook up our vacuum pump, see her in action maybe. Oh, she works. They're not the fastest thing ever, but better than nothing. Some more goodies. We're at a good point to just kind of clean up the mess we've created. It's got pretty big. Parts are falling off, don't worry about that. Bagging and tagging, even stuff we're gonna get rid of. The pieces of those columns. All of our goodies are over here in our box. But I want to take this out. Ooh, look at the surprise I found. Someone needed quick access to that pin, so they just, looks like they hammered holes in there. Maybe drove something through there, I don't know. Those are through bolts with a flat head on it and a little square nut on the back. Rusted as all get out. Just drill them out, much easier. You like that tunnel? Nibble, nibble, nibble. Oh no, the vicious nibble attack. Help, he's so mean and vicious. Nibble, nibble, nibble. Goofball, goofball. Yeah, you like that? You like that? Yesterday, guys, we got everything cleaned up. I had just some stuff to do. And we're starting fresh this morning. And we're gonna get going back on our front clip. We'll get our little, I don't know what you call this. I call it the nose cone. Dang, oh man, couple dingers. I was gonna say, that stuff's in pretty good shape. Nope, got dingers. What about this one? See, it's not as nice. Oh, she'll clean up. A little spit shine. We'll get that off there, get our fenders pulled. Then we're gonna start figuring out what it takes to get this danged old body pulled off. If the rest of the day goes that smooth, we'll take it. Now, I've only pulled one Scout fender in my life. Practically makes me an expert. And I can tell you, it's much easier to do with the wheels and tires out the way. Follow Puddins Fab Shop for more pro tips on how to properly use a lift. Look at all the room this gets us. That's good, because we're gonna need it too. Little custom job right there, folks. If you've seen my second channel video, you know that bolt up there ain't fun to get to. I think little skinny minis here is perfect for the job. Oh yeah, that'll do her. Yep. So there's gonna be at least one that's difficult. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Rest in peace to that bolt who's no longer with us. She's free. The rest of our bolts go down through there, no big deal. Then we're supposed to have two down here which are rusted off, and I couldn't get it off here, so I took my screwdriver, plucked that old thing of body filler off there, and look behind there, screw, screw. How's that for some good quality repair? Y'all do know there's painted cars like this out there, right? And then y'all think they're nicer than my patina ones where I actually fix the sheet metal and it can bolt on and off. Oh, that's for lazy people. That guy actually painted his. And there's crap like this underneath his body filler, and y'all think I'm the lazy one? I am in shock and awe. My patina builds have straighter bodies than half the dang stuff that's painted. If you would grind off all the body filler and see what's really lurking underneath there. Well, at least they actually painted theirs. They beat it in and used some wood screws, and but that body filler, they just shape her nice and pretty. It's fine. Yeah. Cave and pave, baby. Cave and pave. Fenders free. There she is. You always gotta find at least one old wasp nest. Now, as you can see, we're moving along good, and you're probably thinking, pull them body bolts and yank that sucker off there. Good time to stop, guys. And look at this. Now, this has been a problem I've noticed from day one, is how this door, well, you can get it shut. Obviously, not looking the best. And then we seen up front how all those stress cracks are in there and that's dropped. I don't really know what's going on. I just know that it's probably related. I just know it's probably not coincidence. So I'm trying to look at our body mount here. That's the cracked area all above that. And I don't know if y'all can see, but there's some distance between that bolt. Like this is sagging over here. Let's cut this exhaust out of here and try jacking up on this and see if it helps. We're gonna try to figure that out and how to brace some stuff before we do it, so when we pick it up, stuff don't get wonky. Honky tonky wonky. That's all that was holding that? All right. This thing likes to party. Now she got the side exit fender exhaust. Door opened. Oh. All right, y'all pay attention. I'm gonna hold the camera right here, okay? And watch when I jack up how that straightens back up. This whole body is sagging in the middle because there ain't no support at the front. I hope the camera picks this up. I know y'all had to see that straighten up. Oh wow, a door that actually closes. Now it still looks like it's kicked out and stuff. I'm hoping that these are all slotted back there, so if we were to loosen those, you can shim the door around. That's way better. And all I did was jack up right there. Now I stopped when by eye I thought that top looked good. And now we used to have additional slack underneath there, but now it's up in there, probably about 1/4 of an inch to 5/16. So I'm gonna figure out something we can put in there where we can get the jack out of there. And I bet we need to check that side too, just in case. And now we're to the point where we almost got to figure out some repairs before we can really move forward. Because at least with this on here, we've got it somewhere where we need it. Now I did jack up over here and it did make a difference. This was hanging down. This side don't need near as much, but with this side dropped, I don't know if just that bushing being out of there let so much play happen in here, causing all these stress cracks. You can see how far this one runs. This one's up to here, all the way up to here. Crack, 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 crack. Just playing, sorry. But I think we're close to where we need it. We've got a good gap. Now don't open the easiest, but I do believe that's just like striker adjustment because all this stuff's settled over time. Right here is really where we need this body at. So we need to do something with that. There's nothing we can do shimming wise that's really gonna just fix that. So ideally, before we pull this body off here, to minimize flexing, we need to fix that. We may wanna think of a way to brace that over there since we're here and we know it's a weak point. And then we'll probably want to put at least some bar of some sort across these doors. Well, guys, this thing don't have a good roof, okay? Y'all seen that roof. Obviously, that ain't gonna provide a lot of support for this. So what it looks like is this vehicle just wants to buckle in half, which makes sense. But what we wanna do is our best to prevent it from buckling in half. She needs some strength in her, especially if we're gonna try to make this one nice. We don't want be driving it 3-4 years down the road, a piece of rubber starts to blow out, and next thing you know, a corner sagging, your door don't open right, floor's cracking again. No, that ain't gonna fly. Not with us building a nice one. She needs to be strong. So all this stuff we're about to do was not originally planned. Oh, but it's gonna happen, Captain. The plan was to fully blow it apart where we can get it blasted and then start doing our repairs. But the body needs more strength or we're gonna do more damage. Our last crack is right there. Other than that, we can just follow this edge around here, guys, all the way up to even where the toe board is. That cracked a little bit right there, but that ain't nothing bad. I can't believe that floor was sagging. Guys, it's raining hard out. I apologize about the audio. Drill her bolt out here. There she went. Let's say, look, that brace ain't even welded to our inner rocker or kick panel or anything. That'll make removing the rest of this nice and easy. Well, now we know why we had zero support. Luckily our brace here is pretty solid. It just happened to break off there. Or maybe it was never attached over there. Heck, I don't know. Worn down little cutoff wheel's perfect for grinding on your spot welds. We gotta get this sheet metal off here. Guys, what's crazy is technically right now this body is broke in half. It is. There's nothing supporting that right now other than two overlapping pieces of 18 gauge sheet metal. That's what's supporting below our door post, all of that. What's even crazier is to shim all that up, we put a piece of 1/4 inch plate in there. So what's that mean? That means that if there was a bushing that was supposed to be in there, it couldn't have been very big. And a 1/4 inch of bushing being gone, and just this thing driving, now it probably had a rough life, who knows? But still, the fact only that much slop allowed that to do that much damage, that's crazy. We do not want this thing to continue to do that down the road. I usually don't have good luck with our air hammer, but let's try it. Woo! Got her on the run, boys. We'll grind down what's left of them welds, and I was about to wire wheel that last episode, or when we worked on the Lodestar. Y'all see me use Slick's little sandblaster from the Harbor Freight. I think it's in time we invest in one of them. One, it works good. You just, and it, stuff gets clean. We can wire wheel this. We're still not gonna get it as good as if we sandblasted it. I think it's time we commit, especially since we're just getting started on this thing. There's still a long road ahead. Some assembly required. Lock and load. Woo! As y'all can see, it's working good. I mean, I ain't gonna act like it's perfect, guys. Some of that stuff's deep and dark. I can promise you it is better than what it would have been if we would have just wire wheeled it. Prime time. Shake it up. Nice and thick. Call me crazy, but where that undercoating is, I can see where that brace is supposed to go from the factory. So I just marked that, just barely touching the metal with our grinder, so we can clean this up and then put that back where it's supposed to go. I don't think there's supposed to be a gap between that. Drill us a hole for a spot weld. Then we hit it with a pole barn garage. I was trying to suck that up, but it's just dented too bad. But oh yeah. Forgot we had the fender off. Little tack, we're gonna get our brace in place. I looked up the bushings, they are right at a 1/4 inch thick. They're not very thick at all. So I'm gonna imitate them with some washers for now. And we're gonna bolt this baby up, and with any luck, she's gonna line right on up with my marks I put over here. Marks are lined up. If we put a straight edge on there, that sits on that nice, goes right up to where I trimmed it at, touches that brace perfect, nice and flat on the floor, tack it. If you want to learn rust repair, get you a Scout. Everything's a nice flat surface, so nothing's overly complicated. Most everything goes into some type of flat panel, which makes for an easy repair. Plus, it's an international Scout, so there's no lack of rust equaling no lack of practice. And look over here. We can shove that down and even probably get it tacked right over there. I don't know if that was ever welded from the factory or not. No, it just looks like it was spot welded down there to the floor. Now getting that welded up to this piece is going to make that way more solid. With our brace welded out, we just need to go back in with a piece of sheet metal right there. Quick test with the jack out of there now. Hey-yo. Our height is good. Like I said, I think the rest now is going to be like striker and hinges to kind of roll that bottom in. The top probably needs to roll out just a hair. Oh yeah, that's better. It's weird, having a floor brace helps. Now we just got to make this out of poster board, which ain't too bad, but we do got an angle over here we got to figure out. We got 15 and 5/8. She breaks $1.15. Just got to take our time and get us a little template made here. We're getting close. One floor pan coming right up. Hot and foggy, I can't see diddly. There you are. Did a little bit of trimming until I got where I know we can work it into place now. Put us a mark right there where our braces are on each side. Now we got to connect the dots, drill some holes. Scout's basically a workbench. And we also need a hole for our body bolt. The factory ones has this divot down and stuff. Guys, we're just gonna hole saw. Once this all gets sealed up, there's a hole right there the bolt can drop down through. It'll make it where once we put padding and carpet down, everything's nice and flush. No problemo doing it that way. I measured over there off the edge. This way is about 5 7/8, and then back from the edge, leading edge, 3 3/8. We're gonna drill a hole right there and hope we hit center or close to. You can see where that mark, so we could come back about, I don't know, 3/16, maybe an 1/8 inch. That's what we'll do. Kind of be silly to put a 1-inch hole in it and not dimple dye it, right? Right. Cleaned our edges, fitted in, got her tacked in, cleaned some of the primer off our support. Now I'm going for the spot welds. Now our bolt's not perfectly centered to that hole, and I didn't try to get that bolt out of there, but we're just gonna hope for the best. Now the rest of this panel I got welder in all the way around. And overall our fit up's really good. Right up there in that corner where the saws all kind of got away, and up in this corner too, but all that's weldable. That corner, I think I can tap it up just a hair to help close up some of that. We'll smooth her out on the top, guys, but don't forget, this body's coming off. So once we get it off and get it back from Sandblast, any of our fabrication on the bottom side, we can finish welding stuff up and smoothing that out in the future. Promise, by the time stuff goes on the bottom, undercoating or bed liner, whatever, she gonna look good. And this is already 100 times stronger than what was in there. Dang, that's a vicious little thing. Oh, she's full welded, folks, and she is solid. Oh, that come apart. Good time to have a worn out head where that can bend up. You can get in there and sand at an angle. Now I'm not gonna sand that out too much because this is all gonna get blasted. But that's pretty good, guys. You could seam seal that if you want. Ours is gonna get carpet and stuff, so that's all gonna be hidden. She's solid. Wonder if that bolt comes out of there. Right on out. I never doubted myself one bit. Striker's about to get struck. All three of those turn surprisingly easy. And there is some wiggle in there. Yeah, she needs a little wiggle. She may be picking up a little too high now. I'd rather have her hair too much where we can down. She could drop just a hair. So this really was supposed to be a disassembly video. And you know why we just fixed that side. Now I'm looking at this side, and really this side's even worse. And I know what you're thinking, well, how's it worse? So that looks fine. Well, I told y'all there's a big old gap there, and look, starting to crack. Right there, you can see it starting to separate. Right there, starting to crack, and you can see where the metal kind of steps. I don't know if that's factory. Let's go look at this other one down here. But it looks to me like this one's working its way down too. So I really would not be surprised if that brace on this side is not attached to the inner rocker as well. So it basically kind of needs the same thing so we can get to the inner rocker so we can get it back to where that brace is supposed to go and blah, blah, blah. Except you'll see on that one, there's rust underneath their seat pan. So it really don't make much sense to replace that front little piece and then the back piece and leave a little bit of a middle. Maybe this one ain't the best to go off of. Because it was probably having the same problems too, and that's probably why it's got diamond plate all welded up in here. On the plus side, we've got some extra seats, huh? Rush repair sucks, guys. It don't make good quality videos, not in my opinion. I know some of y'all do like seeing it, and that's why I just showed it. But as far as doing this side, it's basically the same thing, except now we're cutting out an entire seat or floor pan on this side. Then we're just gonna have to build it back like we did that side. You're ruining it, Puddin'. One cut down the back on each side, and watch this. Front ain't even, this side ain't even attached. That's what I want holding my wife into place. Yucky. As suspected. There's some brace right there. I don't know if that's supposed to be attached over here, but it's definitely not. And the one up there is not. None of these welds were attached. There's one spot weld holding this up here. Dang it. Should have got a Bronco. Psych. Never mind. That corner ain't even attached. It must be the brace has one weld left or something. Or maybe the toe board. I don't know. Yeah. Nothing like cutting and finding the fuel line, huh? Yep. That, by the way, has one clamp to this floor that's holding this. Want me cut it? None of these were attached. And look at this. With the leverage of that, I wish I wouldn't even cut that, because I'm gonna be able to break this sucker off here. Whew, These things were well built. What's that? What was holding the front? Just that bolt and a hose clamp from the fuel line. On the plus side, the way the seat pan's separated from the body, I have very little cleanup on 3 of the sides to do for a basically square panel to go in. Our transmission tunnel, I'm cutting off most of that lip right there in that corner. She's a little rusty. I think the rest of that's going to be just like clean it up and be able to butt right up to that and weld it in. And I'm not convinced these were ever even actually attached to that rocker, because they don't look like they were. Which would make sense why everything's breaking, because that just distributes the load to that floor pan, and that floor pan distributes it out to all the surrounding metal, which it's popping up from, because all the pressure of this body hitting bumps and blah, blah, blah is being transferred to all that, which it successfully broke. I would say, I don't know, 3/4 of the spot welds around there, if not more. We might get crazy here, 7/8 of them. What the hell, 15/16 of them. So on this side, I trimmed all the lips off just like that side. So once we weld that in, it's gonna fully match. Squeaky, squeaky, squeaky. I like that way. It's gonna have a full welded seam up there at the toe boards. Once we weld the other side and smooth that out, nowhere for dirt and rust to trap or anything like that. That lip was bent down so much, it wasn't ever really gonna hammer up and fit good. I mean, we could have left it wavy and spot welded it and filled it full of seam sealer, but this way it'll look better. The only thing that's really different about this side is our tunnel was rusty. And there I was bragging about how flat this was. And then I got rust right here in this curve. Now we could have built that little piece and smacked some curve into something and welded it in. And we could have cut 1 inch off over here and fixed that little bit of rust up through there. Or we cut that entire thing off and we can fill that in with a flat panel, because we don't even need that bubble. Before I cut this piece off, I measured how far down it needed to go, and I came up with around 1.5 inches. So that edge is fine, it can touch down there, and then the top of this one needs to touch up here. Trace it out, and that's what we need. Better clean your threads. I done cleaned out my thread. Can't whistle. Well, dang it. Let's try and get the tunnel of love back in here. And I wanted to do that so we get this lip down here running with this. The problem is there's about a 3/16 lip on this edge, so as it tucks it up in there, it puts it where we can't even tack it if we wanted to. So what's that mean? That means we're just gonna have to trust my cut and trust my gut and go for it. I ain't scared. Mama didn't raise no pump. Just going for it's got us this far. Hey, on the plus side, if this works, once we grind all that down, we know that gets covered, even though it's getting covered with carpet, you know. That lip will hide it. No more rust to worry about over there. 34 3/8, 22 5/8. I think we're gonna build this panel out of 2 pieces. Just one main large one, and then we'll do a smaller piece up there to the toe board. 24 inches back here. Y'all on? My camera don't beep no more. Me and old Big Blue just laid that baby out. later out. Give me my middle. Now, trust me, I know this piece is floppy. It has no strength in it. Here's the dealio. From the factory, it has this to offer some support across there, and this, which was all rusted out, as you can see. That piece you can find online for like 60 bucks. I came across it last night, not even looking for stuff like this. I was actually looking at bumpers. I seen that little bubble. I was like, ooh, that's a cool little bubble. As far as that other support, we may just wait, guys. Not wait on putting this in. We are gonna just wait on adding support to the bottom. If we get this with just fresh metal and then a piece up in there and it's all welded up, we know we need to add support here, but we can do that in the future. No big deal to get underneath this thing and add another bracket across there. We just got to get it where it needs to be right now. So to do that, I measured that side from the top of the tunnel down, put a mark over here. It's 1 1/8 inches. So I'm gonna pick it up where I need it, get a tack. I did the same thing for up there. So we'll get a few tacks across there and then work it this way. I was picking up over there to get it high enough with my hand, but then it was aiming up, so I set that impact there because it was heavy and it flexed the metal back down how we needed it. Now at the front, we'd cut it right on the corner. Really the goal there was just to get it touching 6 1/4. That's what I was aiming for. Over here, 8.5 inches. That corner's playing a little hard to get. Nothing a little tappy won't fix. A little tappy makes her happy. Corner kind of bent down. There's some hucky puck it was dragging across. That's her problem. So with that tacked, in theory, right, I can get to that corner and tap that corner up. Not that it really matters. Y'all see that oil can? Yeah, that's not good. So here's my solution. I ground down those 2 tacks, tapped on them until they broke so it's free again. Cut us a piece of square tubing, put some through holes. I'm gonna get us some self-tappers. We're gonna go down through this across there to straighten that sheet metal out, and then we'll tack it down through there, and we'll probably have to move that piece around. I know, it's gonna create a bunch of holes. It's gonna be the holy scalp. The good thing about holes on metal is we can weld them up. You're wondering how come I didn't bead roll it? It's because I didn't want to bead roll the floor. I will say now, I do wish I would have left a lip back there to break just to put some strength in it to help hold it like this, but that's all right. She's still gonna fit good. We just got another little workaround here. That right there is back up to where she was. So I should be able to get a ton of tacks down through there and hopefully stop that for now. Turned it this way. Should have made another one of these that was just longer, but that's all right. We can tie this thing in a knot if we want to. It's fine, we can make this work. So over there I've measured up, or over here is 24. I went over there and measured up 24. That height, 4 1/4. Put us a mark right here to get this one to 4 1/4. Right there's the magic spot. Moved it up using our last hole as our guide. Added 2 more up there, and guys, that's holding this really good. Take our screws out though, and we got a pretty big panel, and you can see we took the oil can out, and if that looks like it's running uphill some, it is. But so is that side over there, and that's what we did our measurement off of. Overall, pretty good fit up for just kind of measuring across and going over there and winging and dinging it. Hey Ma, Puddin's out there with his winger dinger. I'm not sure what we're gonna put in there for a seat, guys. If we're gonna go back with internationals, they'll be very, very similar. I love the style that come in them, but if I could find some that are both adjustable for each side or something, what I'm saying is there will be strength added besides the bottom side, because some type of seat pan will go on top. We may even tie across from the tunnel to that side, a piece plumb across there, so plenty more strength headed that way. For today, I did not know I was gonna be doing this much rust repair. I really thought initially that I may be able to like stop drill some cracks and weld them up and smooth them out. And then once we picked up on that and I seen what was going on, I'm like, yeah, that ain't gonna cut it. No regrets, guys. Guaranteed when we get done with this, it's gonna be stronger than it's ever been. In my opinion, those braces needed to have been welded to the bodies the way we got it now, and we're not even done. But I'm gonna call her at night. I miss my daughters, I miss my wife. They're right inside that house, and it's getting late, and I want to be able to spend a little bit of time with them. So I'm gonna call it a night. We'll be out here first thing in the morning to make a front small patch and get that side banged out. And then I got another little trick up my sleeve we're gonna throw at this thing. And then finally, we're gonna continue our progress of trying to pull the body. Go! Good morning. I was so excited to see y'all. I almost fell out of that skid steer. Let's get the old Scout outside without a doubt. You see me do that big floor pan last night. Well, I got it mocked in. Guys, I got out here this morning. That patch was basically what we did over there. Now, this shape's a little different, but pretty much exact same repeat process. And I fully welded and ground those down. Fully welded that seam. Fully welded, smooth it all out, guys. Bolted that back in just as a test. And there we go. We've got a floor pan on this side that's not trying to remove itself. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why is she outside? Well, I think whoever was the engineer from Scout that was hired to engineer these things did about a piss poor job. And that's me being nice to the fella. Because besides not welding these to anything else with strength, from what I can tell, there's nothing special about this rocker strength wise. And guys, this is a convertible. We get no structure from a roof on this thing. Even if that little flimsy tin can of a roof's on it, it ain't that much structure. We need structure. Life, kids, work ethic, structure. It needs it all. Scouts, they need structure. What I'm gonna do, knowing we can hide this with interior or little seam sealer and some paint, depending on what we paint or how far we put carpet is, I want to take some 3x3 or some 3-inch wide, 1/4-inch thick strap, and we're going to put a piece down this whole inner rocker. We are going to tie from the floor pan to the kick panel to the inner rocker and back here to where the kick up is. Why? Structure. It needs it. Now, call me overkill, call me wrong, but my Scout is never going to have a problem of the doorpost sagging and ripping off again. And that's why it's outside, because we're going to sandblast those inner rockers real quick and put primer on them before we overlap some thicker stuff on there and weld it on, make it El Permanente. Look who showed up just in time for all the sandblasting fun. What is your thing? Picking out the color? Love you. That's not really my thing. Like, she was gonna be like, oh man, you did the welding without me. Oh man, you took the old motor out of there without me? That was my thing. I think we're out of media. Get me out of that hot box. Woo! Wouldn't want to do that all day. Golly. I'll be pulling this media out of every nook and cranny I got. Don't think about that one too deep. Watch out, Theo! It's snowing, buddy. We'll get a little primer on them rockers, let them start setting up with our Bluetooth battery. And it looks like a Scout bomb went off in here. Parts everywhere, rust everywhere, mess everywhere. I guess as this dries, we'll have to put our cleaning skirt on. And luckily for us, we found a little bit of rust right there. My favorite. Not too bad, could be worse. This side's solid. Y'all didn't know I just bought that other Scout for storage? Oh yeah. Got inside here cleaned up too. Unfortunately, I'm out of welding gas, so that means I'm gonna have to go get some or we can't do no welding. There ain't enough hours in the days, guys. I was just about to tell y'all how that place where I exchanged my gas test my Christianity. I just got home. They gave me a used gas. This is empty. This does me absolutely no good. Woo-hoo-hoo! I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm not going to jail today. I'm fine. Woosah. Woosah. Round number 2. We got gas. Golly. Golly. So, just like our floors, before we can plate this up, we gotta fix the rust. Well, there's that. That's pretty crazy. So that's something to think about with these restorations. People restore vehicles, right? You put paint on it, call it restored. Unless you cut apart every single brace from every single panel, there's rust in a car somewhere. You could have all original, guys, if it don't matter. There's certain braces, like underneath those floors and stuff, wherever it ever worked dirt and debris in there, there's a little bit of rust in there. Like this, we would have never got that all out of there if that wasn't just a little rusty enough there, because you'd go, well, shoot, these things are solid, because they are. But all of that's in there. Y'all think there's something in that one over there? I bet so. We're turning this thing into a sandbox. Look at all that. That is insane. And this up here is just packed. Looky here. Thought that sandblasting was messy. This is worse than that. Look, that stuff's coming up through all these cracks and crevices. That's some fine sand. Look at all that down there. I'm gonna work this baby till she's out of sand. What have I been up to? Oh, I don't know, just dusting out my rockers. What have you been up to? Ain't that nuts? That is not a small dustpan, guys. In fact, quite the opposite. That's a big dustpan. We started filling up that floor pan. That ain't dirt and sand, that's rocker insulation. Trying to keep the warmth in for them cold winters. Now that we know this thing lived most of its life rolling in sand, and what we got out of that side, we got to check this side. Line right up where that rocker overlaps there. I don't think this side has near what that side had. Guys, I ain't ever seen, but if you think about it, all those stress cracks where that side was broke, all that stuff was separated. So then as it was driving, I guess all that dirt made it up in on this side. On that side, the kick panel and stuff never separated, so it kept stuff out. What do you think of your new floors?
Looks very clean and nice.
They're covered in dirt. This hole, this right here, I just pulled out. This whole dustpan was full of dirt.
Okay.
It was all hid up in here. But you got new floors, so your booty don't fall through. If you go to fall through, I'll catch you.
Oh, that looks inappropriate, by the way.
Hmm?
The glove looks inappropriate. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like, though.
That's what it feels like this week. That's what that thing is saying to me all week, guys. I just want to take the body off. I can't catch a break. Our holes on the other side, we ain't gonna worry about welding them up. They're fine. We're gonna plate that whole thing like I told you. But let's take our primer here, and let's take our nozzle and our straw from our choke cleaner instead. Yep, that'll work. I can't guarantee you we're getting everything, but I can promise you we're getting a lot of it. And I'll empty out the rest of this can in here. In fact, I'm gonna get a new can because I don't feel like I'm getting the spraying I want. Gotta hit her with a freshie. Hey, give me my straw back. What a woman. Weld that up, grind her down. Not too worried about making it the most beautiful thing, because I told you I got a trick up my sleeve. 41.5 from the back to the toe board. Put our angle finder in there. I was gonna do 1/4 inch. I kind of set a flat piece across there, just mock up. She's pretty thick. But we want thick for strength. I forgot I had 3/16. I think 1/8 inch is too thin. So 3/16 should be perfect. 41.5. Mark our angle. Let's check that fit. Oh, that's a pretty good fit. I know what you're thinking. Dude, you're crazy. You're gonna see that. And I think down the road being something up out of sheet metal to kind of cap that smooth, that like flows into the rest of that sheet metal a little smoother. We could sheet metal up and then just break like a little 30-degree angle over and then flatten out again, and we could spot weld like that. We'll have options. For now, I just want to get this in here as strength. Trust me, just trust me, or don't. This is the first Scout I've ever built. What do I know? So we're gonna spot weld this down through there, and I'm gonna go every 6 inches. a lot of holes. He ain't really gonna do that, is he? Oh, yes he is. Use some self-tappers and fender washers to suck that over. And just to show you what I'm talking about before you freak out, right here I took us a piece of scrap. You can see how I broke that and jogged it over and then went straight. Now imagine up here, if this was all perfect, obviously, we drilled some holes for some spot welds. Well, we can hide that whole thing. In fact, we could break a 90 off this bottom too and spot weld it to the floor. Spot weld that right there. And since from the factory, most of these are broke lip and overlapped and spot weld and just get painted, it would look pretty stinking factory. Most people wouldn't even know. The only reason we're not gonna go ahead and build that piece just to make y'all happy is because my brake ain't long enough. So we'll stick to this plan for now. That'll all get blasted and primered, and then I'll find someone with at least a 4-foot brake and we'll build something like this and just add it in. Easy peasy. Be mad at me for doing it when International should have done it from the factory. You're gonna have a convertible, you need some beefy rockers. I couldn't help it. My sheet metal brake's only 3 foot. Now we could build this in 2 pieces. I'm still gonna wait to install until we blast and prime. But just to kind of help y'all see big picture what I'm seeing, it'll make that look a lot nicer. And the strength just keeps on stacking. All right, it's Monday, 2nd shift. Me and Theo just clocked in this afternoon. I could wait till tomorrow, or I can just work this evening. Let's get this thing separated now. Gotta do a little investigating. I'm not sure if these are body mounts right here. Excuse me, sir. All right, quit. You're on camera right now. Anything you do can and will be used against you in the court of law. I see a bolt through here at the very rear. These ones. Oh yeah. Assault! Assault! Help! Aha! Oh! She's in there nice and tight. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Found another body mount. She's broken. And it doesn't bolt that right now. Good thing we didn't ramp this. The body would have flew off. Go, baby! Never mind. Only thing on was the bolt. She's held on here with the prayer. Yeah. I almost forgot I planned on taking the doors off. That's the only one that's stripped so far. It just started to turn too. This goes in your air hammer. You and just turn on it. Don't get too buck nasty turning. We'll weld that up, get that sucker nice and hot, put some nipple to put us a bolt on. She's warm. Yeah. Ah! Come on, baby. 3rd time's a charm. Yeah. I got good news. There's not a ton of parts available for these Scouts, But one thing we'll definitely be able to get is our door handle right there. Go to any hardware store. They're available in bronze, nickel, brass, stainless. Black's pretty popular, pretty modern. You can get them square, rounded, probably with like a fleur-de-lis or something. You name it, the hardware store's gonna have it. No doors? Now she's doing Jeep things. Scrap metal deluxe. 41.25, same as that side. That's a good thing. Pop that there. Woo-hoo-hoo! What do you think of that fit, Theo? Have I mentioned I don't trust the lack of support in this body? Yeah. Finding those broken rear mounts didn't help me believe in whoever engineered this none. Pretty disappointed in International. If I could go back that many years, I'd say, hey, I ain't mad at you. I'm just disappointed. I planned on putting bars in there before I found all the other broken stuff anyhow. Real simple, scrap metal. Drill a few holes, nothing fancy. That's some 1/8 inch thick, 1x1, should be plenty strong. With that up there, or plate down there, she shouldn't buckle on us now. Shout out to Mordecus for sending this out a year or two ago, the old screw buster. That thing did an awesome job. If you got some nasty, rusty Phillips heads in your future, you may want to get you one. Now, I did soak those with penetrating oil for the last like 5 days too. But I'll be honest, I think that did most of the work. Oh, she's stiff. Up next, I think we got to disconnect some stuff up in here. Brake lines, radiator hoses. Should be a single mount underneath there. This is all stuff we can hack through quick. These brake lines never stood a chance. Yeah. Oh man, we got the Okie windmiller ready to take over for us.
Oh yeah.
He's
some muscles.
Yeah, no. Here you go. I'm headed in. Have fun. Well, hello, little hidey hole. What? Did your buddy Shane come see you? Yeah, you like Shane, don't you? All right, clutch disconnected. Come on, baby! That's front core support. We should be pretty close to this body wanting to separate. Nice and easy does it. Our back's touching first, so let's run this all the way out. Try to get them touching at the same time. Oh yeah, I see some pickup action. I hear bolts pulling. Sounds scary. Something was in a bind and just gave. Oh, she got the body lift now, boys. So far, so good. Well, it sure seems like something's very unhappy. Just don't know what. That being said, the body does keep picking up. Oh, I think it's our shifters in the trans tunnels. That's what it was. Dragging right there and there. Oh yeah, baby. Snap. What's it? Oh, hold on. This is getting in a bind now. That's what's got us from our clutch. I ended up slicing that, guys. I did not realize this whole assembly bolted there, and I picked up on that and it boogered up that whole thing. Then all the stuff up over on this side, so I just cut it. That wasn't my intent, but here we are. Cutting that was my intent. She is free! Always a good sign when your body mounts stay behind, huh? What? That's loose? No way. Not a Scout body mount being loose. I am so surprised. Wow. Cat. Look how crooked that one is. Then look at that one, little bow. I don't think that's supposed to be broke at a 70-degree angle there. We're gonna end up having to cut that bracket off, but for now, we'll just trim her down. We'll end up getting up in here and doing some inspecting. I see we got some rust right in here. We know we're rusting a few other spots. So I think before this even goes out to sandblast, I'm gonna fix the obvious large pieces of rust like that. It's pretty easy. We can blast up to the area with our new fancy little blaster. That being said, I'm still gonna strip down what I can strip down fast. Like I said, we'll get up underneath here and we'll finish out some of this where we patched up our floors. We'll get her looking good. That crud. Boop. A little scoopity poopity. Dang, looks like we got a little damage there. Almost like someone tried to pick this body up with that clutch shaft through there and it tore through that. That one's on me. I really like our factory color we can see right here. That's a pretty color. All right, there you have it, folks. How's that for stripped down? I'd say she's pretty stinking stripped. And we got these up bolt on and off, and probably another little tiny thing or two, but I'll be honest, it's about 8 o'clock. I've been at it since about 6 o'clock this morning, and I'm starting to get a little tired. Just playing. I could clock in the third shift if we had to, but we don't have to, because I pretty well got her where I wanted her. Well, got my little body carts, homemade ones, and sat her down. As you can see, way more higher up here than back there. She's doing the old Carolina squat. I ain't building no dang old squatted Scout. That'll work for now, guys. If we had to move this, we could clamp that front. We could put a couple bolts through the back. She'd be ready to move. I may rework that where we get her leveled up. But that ain't gonna be tonight. I'm gonna call her a day just because I don't know my content schedule. We may be right back on this thing. And if that's the case, then it can stay right there on the left and we can start working some of the problem. It may get clamped to those carts and pushed right up over there where that Stout used to sit. Replacing the Stout with the Scout. Guys, I will plan out my content this next week as we're in Texas seeing family. But for right now, I'm gonna call that a wrap. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. I thought we were gonna get this thing stripped down. We did find a little bit more rust than I was thinking it had, but that's why we wanted to do this. So we can see what we got. And what we got is some piss poor engineering from International, but that's okay. I know the right guy for the job to fix on it. You're gonna try to convince me things are better left stock. If this thing was left stock, it had like another 50,000 miles before the whole body mounts were fully gonna fall apart. Stock. Well, out there, you can make that better. Just leave everything else stock so it can suck too. puddins.fab.shop.com for that good quality merchandise. We appreciate all the support there, guys. It makes it possible for me to be able to buy a Scout and leave it not stock and make it better. So I appreciate all that support. We're on the Patreon if you want to see the same content, just completely ad-free. We appreciate the support right over there. And then I'm on the Instagrammer and on the Facebooker. You can follow along. We post pictures and stuff like that. But much other than that, guys, I hope you like the tear down process and repair process. The you never know what you're going to get process. And I will see you on the next one. However, do not forget, sitting on your ass will not finish your project.